Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Miss Layla Al-Jahani. Inshallah, today we will continue our unit 5, lesson 5 and 6, listening and pronunciation. Okay? Before we start, we want to recall what we covered in our previous lesson. In our previous lesson, we covered language and context. We had these topics and we had a discussion. We asked and answered questions, and also about things we did in the past, things we haven't done in the past, things we have never done in our lives. Okay, these are some of the things we asked about, some of the topics we talked about in our previous lesson. Inshallah, today by the end of our lesson you will be able to listen for specific information in a conversation. You will listen to a conversation and you will answer questions based on the listening. Okay, also you will be able to pronounce the contraction of have correctly. The short form of have, you will be able to pronounce it correctly. Okay, before we start, I give you page 120 as a homework. Okay, exercise G, write a question and 2 answers for each photo. So you have different photos in front of you on your book. You can look at the photos. This is an example. He wants you to write a question using how long, and you use for and since for the answers. Okay, when you answer the questions you form. Okay, an example, we have chicken, B, in the microwave, 3 o'clock, 15 minutes. We have to form a question. The question is, how long has the chicken been in the microwave? So we are using present perfect. Okay, so you have to provide 2 answers, 2 possible answers. One using since, one you have to use for. Okay, and here you should use the answers from the giving information in front of you. The chicken has been in the microwave since 3 o'clock. Or the chicken has been in the microwave for 15 minutes. Okay, you have all the other exercises, I think 5 examples, and you have pictures. You have to look at the examples and form questions and form answers. One answer using since and the other one using for. Okay, so this is number 1. We have Tom and Kenneth use laptops, 4 years old, almost their entire lives. So the question is, how long? We're using how long. How long have Tom and Kenneth used laptops? This is the question. One answer should be with for and the other one with since. So with the duration, like 4 years ago, we are using, yes, since they were 4 years old. This is not a duration, almost their entire lives. This is the duration where we use for. Tom and Kenneth have used laptops since they were 4 years old. And the other answer, Tom and Kenneth have used laptops for almost their entire lives. 2, the question is, how long has Chris played football? Okay, and you can see on your book a boy who plays football. The first answer, Chris has played football since he was 8 years old, and the other answer, Chris has played football for 7 years. And 3, Alex and Sam. How long have Alex and Sam played video game? This is the question. Alex and Sam have played video games since this afternoon or for 40 minutes. Okay, these are the 2 answers we have. 4, how long has Umar gone to this dentist? Umar has gone to this dentist since 2006 or for many years. Okay, The last one here we have, how long has Grandma had her tea set? Grandma has her tea set since she got married, and the other answer, for over 40 years. Okay? Now, for our lesson, open your books, page 52. We have a picture of two men in front of you, okay? And for the listening, I want to, and their names here, as we can see, Saeed and Fahad. The conversation is between Saeed and Fahad. What is the relationship between Fahad and Saeed? Try to guess. Are they brothers? Are they friends? Are they father and son? What do you think the relationship is? Okay, let's listen to the first part of the conversation, just a small part, to be able to answer this question. What is the relationship between the two men?
Fahad is walking in the park, and he meets a friend, Saeed.
Okay, so as we just heard, the relationship, are they siblings? Brothers? No, they are friends, as we heard now. They are friends, okay? We have these questions. يعني as a recommendation, before you start the listening, you have to read the questions. So you can answer based on the listening, because you can't read and listen at the same time. You have to read the questions, understand it. So when you hear the listening, you will know what are you looking for to answer the questions, okay? So listen to the conversation, answer the questions. You can find these questions on your book. Number 1, since when has Fahad walked for exercise? So Fahad is walking for exercise. We want to know since when. So we're looking at, we want a specific time, okay? Number 2, how long has Fahad had his new job? Fahad had a new job. How long has he had it? Okay? The duration, okay? And also question 3, how long has Saeed been married? He is married for how long? Year, 3 years, 4 years, how long? From the conversation, you will know these answers, okay? Let's hear the conversation together.
Fahad is walking in the park, and he meets a friend, Saeed.
Hi, Fahad. You're looking good. Do you work out every day?
Yes, I have changed my lifestyle completely. Since I had my heart problem, I've walked every morning, I've eaten healthier food, and I haven't stayed out late at night the way I used to. And I've stopped smoking. I've tried to have a healthier lifestyle.
And are you still working in the airport control tower? It's been 3 years since I worked there with you.
No, I've had a new job for 6 months. I'm training air traffic controllers. It's less stressful, and I have more time off. What about you?
Well, I got married. I've been married for almost a year. My wife and I like to cook, and I've gotten a desk job. So, I've gained a bit of weight. That's why I started to exercise.
Okay, so we heard the conversation. Did you manage to answer? Find all the answers? Did you get what are they talking about? They are two friends. They didn't see each other from a long time. And then they saw each other, so they started catching up. See how is he doing and how is the other one doing, to ask a bit of information, to know what's new with your friend, okay? We will hear the conversation again, and then we will see the answers together, okay? This is the second chance to get all the answers. While you're listening again, try to write down the answers you hear, okay? Yalla, let's start. Bismillah.
Fahad is walking in the park, and he meets a friend, Saeed.
Hi, Fahad. You're looking good. Do you work out every day?
Yes, I have changed my lifestyle completely. Since I had my heart problem, I've walked every morning, I've eaten healthier food, and I haven't stayed out late at night the way I used to. And I've stopped smoking. I've tried to have a healthier lifestyle.
And are you still working in the airport control tower? It's been 3 years since I worked there with you.
No, I've had a new job for 6 months. I'm training air traffic controllers. It's less stressful, and I have more time off. What about you?
Well, I got married. I've been married for almost a year. My wife and I like to cook, and I've gotten a desk job. So, I've gained a bit of weight. That's why I started to exercise.
From what we heard together, these Saeed and Fahad are friends who are they working together now? لا, they used to work together. Now they don't work together anymore. So they are colleagues who work, friends, and who used to work together, but they've been apart and they're starting asking questions. The first question we have, since when has Fahad walked for exercise? It's mentioned. What do you think the answer is? Excellent. Fahad has walked for exercise since he had his heart problem. He had a heart problem. Then he changed his lifestyle. He started walking. He stopped smoking. He made arrangement in his life. Okay. The second question, how long has Fahad had his new job? He changed his job, صح? I think they worked together for 3 years. Then they changed job. How long has Fahad had his new job? 3 years? No. Excellent. 6 months. Fahad has had his new job for 6 months. Okay. The third question, how long has Saeed been married? The duration, how long? Excellent. He'd been married for a year, for almost a year. Saeed has been married for almost a year. Excellent. Now let's look at the conversation together. Okay, I want you to look at it. It's not in your book. Focus here with me, please. Okay, look at the conversation and try to write down the phrases where they use present perfect. Our unit, the grammar focus of our grammar today is present perfect. So underline the phrases where they use the present perfect. Okay? And I think we have some with for and since. Okay? For and since. So underline also or circle for and circle since. Okay? You can pause the video, read the conversation, and then we can discuss what we're gonna do together. Okay? Pause the video, try to write down everything in a piece of paper, and now let's see it together. So the first phrase we have changed. Here, have changed. This is a present perfect tense. I've walked. I've eaten. I haven't, this is the negative, stayed. This is another phrase where they use the present perfect. I've stopped. I've tried. And also here, it's been. Here, the S, it's a contraction of has. It has been. So the S been, it's has been. This is also a present perfect. I've had, I've been, I've gotten, I've gained, I've started. Okay? This is the list in front of us. Okay? Let's look at it one by one. Okay? I have listed it here. Okay? I have changed. Changed came from the verb change. Okay? This is the third form of the verb change. Okay? Walked. Walk, we just add ed here, and here it ends with an e, so we only added d. Both these verbs are regular verbs. Sometimes we have irregular verbs like eat. The third form of it is eaten. Eat, the third one, the past ate, then eaten. Okay? But here we have the one in greens here. The first one here we have stay. Stay, we added ed, but it ends with y. And also here we have try, it ends with the y, but here we removed the y and added ied. ليش يا miss? What is the difference between the two? Try and stay. Try and stay, before the y, you have to look before it. What can you see? It's an A. A is considered what? It's a vowel. So if you see a vowel before the y, you don't remove the y. Okay, you just add ed. But here, before the y, can you see a vowel? لا, it's a consonant, so we just cross the y and write ied. Okay? This is when the verb ends with a y. طيب هنا يا miss, we have stop. Stop, the past form is stopped. Why did we add a double P then an ed? Why? Because before the P we have a vowel. If you see a vowel, you have to double the consonant and then add ed. Okay? Except when it's a y. If it's another consonant, not a y, it's a different rule. With other consonants before it, if you have a vowel, then you double the last consonant and add ed, like here, stopped. Okay? And here, irregular verb, had, I've had. It comes from the verb have. Been comes from the verb be. Gotten comes from get. Also here, it's an irregular verb like ate and eaten, okay? Eaten, yes. And also here we have gain, we just added ed to the verb from gain. Start, started, we just added ed. You can find this list so to be more familiar with the verb, the past form, the third form of the verb. You can look at your book, page 82. You can see all the list in front of you. All the verbs you can, with the present, past, and the verb 3 form of the verb. This is very helpful to look at. Have a look at it. Be familiar with how we change forms of the verbs, okay? For the pronunciation, also on the same page, page 52, pronunciation, it's related to the conversation and the words we gathered here. It's related to it. Here they want us to focus on how to pronounce the contraction of have, the short form of have, the contraction, okay? Have you been? How have you been? Where have you been? Where have you been? What have you done? What have you done? We just pronounce it as v, okay? We like I've, we just pronounce a v sound, v sound, okay? It's like one letter. How have you been? Where have you been? What have you done? Okay? Try to practice pronouncing and reading the contraction of have, okay? And here you can read this conversation and practice pronouncing the contraction of V, like here, I've changed, okay? I've walked, I've eaten, I've stopped, I've tried, I've stayed. Also here we have I've had, I've been, I've gained, I've gotten. So you have the list in front of you. Try to practice pronouncing the words, okay? So what did we cover in our lesson today? In our listening, we had a conversation. We listened for a conversation between two men. Do you remember the names of them? Yes, Fahad and Saeed. They are old friends, they have a conversation, and we answer questions related to the conversation we heard. Also, we practice how to pronounce the sound of the contraction have, like I've, have, okay? How to pronounce the contraction of have. That's it for today. Thank you for listening, and inshallah I will see you next class.